Or no? Yep, here we go. Oh. There you are. All right. So I'm gonna go, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go live. I'm gonna put on a video, and then that
exchange. She told me about the time that like the Holy Spirit came into her kitchen and all these beautiful stories that she's sharing with me. And she just held me, and I just wailed in light language and just cried and fully released and was held. And then I saw it. Oh, now I get it. It all kind of came into picture why I had been resistant to coming home and being fully expressed, because in past lives, perhaps I was the one who was persecuted for, you know, doing this work, for being fully expressed. There was a time when it wasn't safe for us to shine our lights, to be the expression of the divine that we are. And so I think a lot of this, you know, fear that we have is like, ooh, shh, don't let them see. And so it was just so beautiful for me to just fully be embraced and loved and seen by my family. And then just to know that, oh, okay, I'm clearing this for myself through my ancestral line, and then also for the collective, because as one of us is doing this work to clear this, it is rippling out. And so it's so good. It makes it also worth it.
So you healed your broken leg, right? Then you go down to Florida and your coming out party, and your aunt's got an issue, right? And you have this revelation that by healing yourself, you're healing her somehow. Has there been any change in her? Do you know?
The last, I attempted to send just a few very benign articles about possibilities of alternative treatments. They're making so much progress with light and frequency and sound. And some articles came into my field of awareness, and I very genuinely shared them. And the response that I got back was, don't.
Yeah, well.
You're stressing us out. I'm presenting them with an opportunity to have the possibility of there is another way that we can heal, that our bodies can heal when we trust and believe and nourish ourselves with like the very best food, and stop poisoning ourselves with the GMOs and the vaccines and the fluoride and all that fuck shit. Like once your physical vessel clean, we have the tremendous ability to tap into the infinite. And
yeah. And thank you. That's my new favorite word. Fuck shit.
One of mine as well.
I've never heard that before. I never heard them run together like that. So
not in a
wow. So wow, that's powerful. I mean, you know, on a conscious level, you're doing the work, you know, within yourself, and then on a conscious level, the human level, you do what you can. You send them some information and you leave it at that. Yeah. Did I cut out?
You did, yeah.
I
didn't miss that. Could you tell by my blank stare?
Yeah, right. No, I was saying, you know, consciously you're doing the work on yourself, and then at a human level, you did what you could. You did what you could.
Yes.
So you maxed it out on both sides.
Yes.
How about all those animals at your place?
Yeah. So
what's going on with that?
There had been a period of time where I'd kind of like closed off everything and was just feeling like I wasn't supported in this work. Tremendously in debt for doing this with the animals since 2001, not being in a place to ask for help, feel worthy of receiving help. So I kind of had shut everything down, and now I'm just like moving through all of that energy and just recognizing this is a badass place here. This is amazing work that I'm doing. So I just kind of opened it up. Spirit guided me to like really open up this stream that's on the property. It was very cathartic, and I rubbed mud all over myself, and I was out there naked and just being one. It was just, but no one was home. But
doing the goddess work. So now you have is it if I remember correctly, it's like an animal rescue and a farm, like an animal rescue and an animal farm, or I don't know if those are the right words.
Okay. So it's a nonprofit. I'm a 501c3 animal sanctuary. I've been doing it since 2001. I founded it in Florida. I was an animal cruelty investigator. So my whole life I've been doing this work to take care of animals. And we were about 15 minutes from the Hurricane Charlie devastation. So at that point, we decided it was time to get out of Florida. And we moved up here to North Carolina with 60 animals. And it was a massive, it was a massive
60 animals? 60.
60.
And what did they range from? I mean, what kind of animals were they?
So primarily dogs, cats, sheep, goats, and pigs. We did a bout with some chickens. There's a lot of predators around this area. I'm right in the thick of just the most pristine, wonderful amount of forestry and this energy in these woods that I know that I had a past life here as a Cherokee.
Yeah.
Remember, I've been like, Spirit's been guiding me to go out and to create these earth grids and to activate these portals. And I'm just speaking all this language. And as I am doing it, I'm like having like remembrances of, oh shit, I was sitting here on this rock and my friend was over there. And we were playing like a telepathy game. I just like, all these amazing things are coming. Yeah. So it is a truly remarkable place. And yes, the animals are here. We've just opened it back up, and I received 2 little goats just recently, and now a cat showed up out of the woods. And so it's great. I love it. But it is a lot of work. And I do recognize the importance for me to have support to do this. I'm grateful, because my bigger vision is to combine this animal sanctuary with a healing center where people can come and connect in with these energies that are here. There is something truly spectacular about this land. It is literally covered in quartz and mica, and there's water running through it. And my friend Josiah and I went up, and like I said, I've just been going around and just like kind of like peeling back the veil of these areas where I don't believe that I held the right frequency, or my frequency wasn't where it needed to be able to see in this way and to clear this off and to do this work at these places that are actually portals on the land. So
have you seen, I mean, you know, everyone talks about the expanded awareness, but have you seen, you're so close with the animals, have you seen a change in the animal?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And how's that?
There's a lot of galactic energy here. And so my dogs are very tuned in that way. There was a ship here a couple weeks ago, and there was 4 of my cats that were just like sitting in the driveway staring at it. Yeah, they are, you know, our animals are ascending with us. They are adjusting to these higher frequencies. And, you know, for some of them, it's a big shift. So I have a little, one of my little dogs who has epilepsy. Her seizures have been getting a little greater right now. And I just know, like, once I can feel her shift in energy, and I know when it's happening, and I am able to get them to stop rather quickly, but I just have noticed an increase. And I'm curious if the energies have anything to do with that. So if anybody else out there has any input on that, if they have noticed any increase in epileptic seizures, I'd be curious. I use CBD as well. That immediately, that's a blessing. What a blessing, CBD. So,
with animals? Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
So what about, like, have you been picking up any collective intel? Like, what's going on? You say you got some galactic activity going on over there and stuff with the animals, but I mean, have you picked up on anything that might be a kind of a collective message or occurrence?
Absolutely. I'd be happy to share. So I have the awareness of this timeline that is just going to blow everybody's minds. And I recognize that what we are experiencing right now is kind of like the shaking out of the rug. Like, all this dirty mess has to come up. And for some people, if they don't have the awareness of the other best and highest timeline, and they're not matching that frequency of that timeline, then this just looks like a big old mucky mess.
Yeah.
I have the guidance. I have the awareness. I have the knowledge firsthand of just seeing what is already done. I already see people are going to be supported. Like, all this fuckery with the child pedophilia and the sex trafficking and all that stuff. Like, this is all, it's done. Like, the cabal and the deep state are like, like, light has won. We've already won, you guys. And it's just like, no matter what, being in that place of just knowing that is the truth.
Yeah. Like energetically it's happened.
Yes.
And what you said about some people seeing it just as a bunch of muckety muck. And I've noticed that about people, and I've noticed it about, you know, people that are in these communities. I'm not saying a lot of people, but I'm just saying it's kind of struck me a little bit how some of them are saying, oh, wow, things are really horrible. There's some bad stuff going on. And, you know, and what you said about some people are aligning with it and some people are not. And I don't think that's fluffy love and light. It's just that knowing enough of us have gotten channelings, transmissions, downloads, and are getting them to know from a higher perspective what's really happening.
The Earth Alliance is here. We are so supported. And as people are feeling more supported, as people are beginning to see this earth being healed, the cleaning of our oceans, the supporting of the homeless, like all these different programs coming into fruition, people being in a place of ease, not this pressure that we've all been under for so long. Like, we have been liberated, we have been freed. And once people are, I think there's ones of us that are holding the frequency of this already is, I'm graced to be able to do that. Like, no matter what the fuck shit's going on.
The fuck shit.
Oh, there we go. Or I just speak stream of light language, and then I'm immediately like, it just takes me right back. So I'm so grateful for that ability, that awareness to be able to do that. And that is our choice in every moment. Yeah. Like, I think I did a post earlier this week. It was just like, I see what it is, but I'm choosing to sparkle. I'm choosing to shine my light and to just be fully expressed in love, because that's what the world needs. Love, lots and lots and lots of love. Love for one another, love for the planet, love for all these beautiful creatures. It is time.
No exceptions to the rule.
No exceptions.
Universal rule.
Absolutely.
And you know, another thing that's starting to happen is we're getting wind of it on these shows is people starting to experience expanded Kundalini, you know, where it would come in and leave, and now it's like coming in and staying. Are you feeling anything like that?
You're talking about Kundalini energy?
Yeah, just like the chi energy just coming in and being more pronounced. sacred sex vibration. And these are individuals and couples talking about this, you know?
Yes. It is creation energy.
That's exactly what it is.
So I've been graced to have connection with soul brothers and to be able to move that energy, but in a creation way. So it is so amazing. It is so beautiful. And it is work of the divine masculine to many of them misinterpret that energy.
Absolutely.
And was this my internet connection is unstable?
It's okay. I can hear you.
Okay, good deal. I wasn't sure.
So what you're saying is some of the masculine can misunderstand what that energy is. I think that's a great point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For instance, I have historically driven Uber and Lyft, and I'm an activator. I hold a high frequency. People get in my car and they were just like, oh, what's going on in here? And there was a gentleman who got in my car. He sat in the seat behind me. I didn't look at him. I didn't touch him. I didn't make eye contact with him. And all of a sudden he's just like, oh my God. He's like, what's going on in here? He's like, I'm a gay male. Why am I feeling like this? And I was like, oh, hey, you know, have you ever heard of like Kundalini energy? And he's like, yeah, is that what this is? And I was just like,
it's better than ecstasy.
It was feeling it for sure. And then he just was like, it was that thing of like, why am I feeling, you know, this energy towards this woman when I align with being a gay man? And I was just like,
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a reality, you know. I mean, it's a reality. We had some experiences together, Morgan and I, and I think the first big one, that energy came in and went up into the solar from the lower chakras and a little bit into the heart chakra. And then it just kept going. But it seems to be staying versus leaving, you know, and then coming back, you know, from time to time.
Yes.
And I think that's what you're talking about. You're holding that frequency, and I think more and more people are. And it's almost like a wordless mutual transferring of code or activating code.
Exactly.
Like we don't have to say anything.
No.
It's just the courage.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had an experience. I went to a workshop on Sunday. I haven't been called to do many of them lately, but a soul brother of mine invited me. And when I connected with the woman who was facilitating it, it was just an immediate soul connection. And just as you were speaking, it's just like, yes, we all hold, I think we hold codes for one another. And when we get together, especially the ones of us that are divinely like reconnecting, we're remembering like what we did in past lives together. And we're helping each other remember our gifts and abilities, because it's like, oh yeah, we used to do this together. And this woman who was facilitating the workshop, she was talking about writing this language. And I said, oh, I write language too. And she said, oh, let's write it and see what they, you know, compare. And when we looked, they were identical.
Oh, you got to be kidding me, man.
You can't make this shit up. Like, for real.
You can't make this shift up, man. You cannot make this shift
so good. So yeah, she is amazing. Quiet Bear, I love you so much. I'm so grateful for our connection.
Wow.
And she's helping me just, yeah, it's the activation. It's the turning on of those strands of DNA.
Yeah.
And it's so exciting, because I know we've just like scratched the surface of what.
I know, man. It's like the, you know, I went through it this morning. You know, we had something happen last night, and I woke up this morning. It's like she got it last night. I kind of got it last night. And then I woke up this morning, and a couple hours go by, and I start to shave, and all of a sudden I felt like this. I felt like just a bunch of concrete was poured into my body. Like I felt really heavy and like this, like, and I knew I had to move. I didn't want to lay down. And it was just like all this stuff. I was remembering all this stuff from last night, and then I was getting downloads at the same time, fresh ones, and it was just like this whole 2 or 3 movies playing in my head. And it was all good, but the human was just like going, what the hell's going on?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when I find it helpful to ground, to just take my, you know, shoes off and really get my feet in the grass, or ideally if you can stand in a stream and just allow that water to.
Yeah. Yeah. I went for a walk, and then Morgan was at the park, and she's like, I'll come get you. I'm like, no, I need to walk. So I walked over there, and then I sat there for a while. And then at one point I just went to that, consciously went to that energy that you're talking about. We didn't even say anything. I just started merging, basically. And then eventually the column was clear, but the human body's still trying to catch up a little bit. We're all remembering.
We are all remembering.
This takes a little getting used to. It's a little mind blowing.
Adjusting the radio dial. We're just tuning our frequency.
Yeah.
It is really the truth of who we are. We've just been programmed to forget.
Yeah. And I think that's a big part about it that you mentioned about the masculine, because I think there's more masculine energy opening up, I guess, releasing the old identities and starting to get just scratching the surface of what the other side's like. And it's just a little bit we've been shown, and it's like, oh my God, where are we going? Whatever I thought I could achieve or do is going to be blown away.
Absolutely.
But I think it also translates to our creative expression. That's the way I see it. Like you said, it's the seed of creation. That energy is creation. And so then you start, you know, it's not just the sacred sexual intimacy thing. it is actually a physical manifestation, expression, merging of the physical and the non-physical, and whatever you create that aligns with your heart.
Yes.
It's fucking amazing. That's all I can say. It's just amazing.
We are amazing.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Remember.
So are you still seeing clients? You do you have you're a practitioner, right?
Yes.
Okay. How's that been going? Are you seeing a change in them?
I'm seeing a definite change in them. So much of my session now is I'm speaking code, I'm speaking light language, and it's just so wonderful to. I preface the session, but I, fully, whoever's coming to me is ready. I know how things are divinely orchestrated, but just to be fully expressed and just to, I feel a greater clarity with the energy coming through. And just more of it's just like a relaxed allowing. It's beautiful. I love it. I'm so excited. I love activating people. I love, sparking that remembrance. And that is one of my beautiful gifts. So I'm so grateful to share.
Is that what you find happens? Is whenever you do this coding, this light language, it sparks conscious memory in them?
Yes, and many of them will start to repeat light language back to me.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So when do you do light language, other than in your sessions or when you want to be grounded?
Constantly.
Yeah? Do you want to do some now?
Oh, sure. I'd be happy to do some.
Yeah. I mean, not as a circus act, but I mean, like with conscious intention, which I know is the only way you will do it.
Yeah. No, I would be happy to. I was just starting to be more public about it when I was on last time, and now it wants to be heard, and just remember that it's just frequency, and so it may sound unusual to human ears, but I just asked to bring through the highest frequency of love, and I'm grateful for being in a place of a greater allowing. So I'm just going to take a deep breath.
Yeah, take your time.
I invite you guys actually take a deep breath. It feels so good to take a deep cleansing breath. If you haven't grounded today, just send some energy from your heart, go all the way down your legs, just connect into the core of Mother Earth. And just feel that love and feel the support. You can draw that energy up into your body, all the way up into your heart. And now from your heart, go all the way up and connect into Source God Creator. Just allow that energy to come down now, and just allow it to just fill your whole energy field. So much love, so much goodness, so much light. E te ai o shue ana, te arne ai omma, she te ai a shua, te arne ai a. Umene a she te ornea, te ai a. Shumene ai a te ai a, she te arne e ai, mene ai a te a, shue te arne ai a. Kumene a te aia, shea te ai, shumene arne e aia, e mene aia ushite anna, he mene ashite oia, te arne aia, she te amme aia, e shea te orne aia, mea te aia. Shushu te arne aia, tu e arne aia umme aia, she te.
Nice, thank you.
Thank you.
We were down in the little town down here on the beach, and last night we were just standing on the beach, and we were walking back to the car, And we saw this guy, he's probably about 28. We met him before on the organic farm we live on. And we just started talking to him. Anyway, he needed a ride home. So we got in the car, and he happens to live in kind of a encampment on the east side of the island, which is, I forget the name of it, but there's certain schools of thought, certainly the Hawaiian culture, believe that it's and beyond that, I think the Dalai Lama actually came over here to visit the place, and it's supposed to be the womb of the earth where all the souls come in, and he lives like right there, like in a bunch of trees right on the beach. So we pull up, and Morgan was in the back seat, I was in the driver's seat, he was in the passenger seat, and he said, beautiful guy, I mean, just beautiful man, beautiful soul. And he says, would you give me permission to sing a song to you? And we're like, yeah. He says, my grandmother taught me the song. It's an Alaskan, but a particular tribe in Alaska, not the Inuits. And he said, she sang it to me. And so this is what I'm going to do. And then he called in the ancestors, asked for permission, called in his grandmother, asked for permission. And then he just did something that I've never heard. And it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible.
Wow.
You can't make this shift up.
No.
And full of activations and code exchange and all that, you know.
Yes.
Everything's connected. Every single thing's connected.
Yes.
And I don't know about over on your property, but we're noticing that there's a lot of activity, a lot of energy moving around. You walk outside at night, you can see it moving around. In our bedroom, we can see it moving around. It's like a convention, like a galactic convention, you know?
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of energy shown in space. How, is that happening at your place? Are you seeing an increase?
Oh, yes. An increase in the energies, an increase in the ships that are here.
Yeah, I would think there's a lot of activity over there. There's a lot of NSA type stuff, CIA, military stuff out there.
Yeah, the mountains hide them well. We joke around that there's a landing pad like right over there.
Yeah.
And there are some very potent energies over there for sure. And
do you ever communicate with anything like that? Any star family or anything like that?
I have telepathically connected in with certain ships, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they preparing for the big gathering?
The big event?
I don't know. Is there a big event? You think there's a big event?
I think I think people are expecting like a big boom, but I think it's slowly building. Like
that's what I said.
Yeah.
But there definitely feels like you said earlier, there's more of a presence of many things that maybe we couldn't feel before or sense before.
Right.
Which is coming in.
More and more of us are holding the higher frequencies. It's allowing the frequency of the earth to continue to rise as well. So it is being rippled out to the collective. That's why it's so important to maintain your vibration, to stay connected. And I was triggered yesterday by my son and his girlfriend fighting, just like to be around that energy. It's like, but I recognize, whatever it is in them is something in me that I need to work on. Otherwise I wouldn't be triggered by this. So it's like, it's just shifting your perspective and shifting your awareness. And so instead of getting in that piece of like getting all affected myself, it was like, oh, wait, it's ho'oponopono. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I love you. Thank you. It's thank you for showing that what is in you is something in me that I need to work on.
Yeah. Or work on finding it or just being aware of it. Seems like when we become aware of stuff now, used to become aware of something, then you have to work on it,
right?
Release it. But now it seems like almost not when we become aware of it, but when we become aware of it, maybe talk about it or say, "Oh, this is what it is," and declare this is what it is, and recognize it. It seems to release quicker than it used to.
Exactly. And that is our grace, how quickly we choose to process through these triggers.
Yeah.
The quicker you can catch yourself. It's like, you know, if you're operating up here most of the time and then you're tapping down, you know, you don't want to like hang around down here for too long. You can just be like, oh, there that is.
Yeah.
I see the perspective of that. This energy doesn't feel good to me. This isn't the truth of who I am. Ooh, I want to go right back up here. And I can just do that by accessing my tools. For me, it's just getting out in nature, just establishing that connection, feeling my field with the love of Source God Creator, connecting in with the earth. And I can just get right back. So I'm grateful.
Now, if I remember correctly, didn't you have a daughter that kind of woke up when you did, or at least spoke the same language? Something like that?
She is her own ancient soul, for sure. She is on her own path. I am graced to have brought her into this world. She is an amazing being. She has so many beautiful gifts. And she just did a really bold move. I'm very in awe of her strength, just the wisdom that she has. She had this long, beautiful, curly, blonde hair that was, you know, everywhere we went, they would be like, oh, your hair, you know, the two of us. And she decided that it was, she didn't want to mess with it anymore. She didn't want to spend 2 hours a day in taking care of her hair and having to worry about scrunching it and doing it this way and that way. So she shaved it all off on Mother's Day.
Oh my God.
16 years old. I was just like, damn, you've got some balls, girl. Like, you go for it. And I'm so proud of her, because it's just like, our beauty doesn't come from our hair or our face or whatever. It is the light within. And I'm just like, damn, like, you're even more beautiful now. I can, like, I see you. You don't have all this hair you're hiding behind. It is amazing. I'm so like, wow. I'm so in awe of her.
Man. Don't tell Morgan that. She's over here going, man, it's hot over here. I'm going to cut my hair. I'm going to shave my head.
I saw someone else on Facebook just shave their head as well. And that event that I went to, there was a woman there that I connected with, and she had just recently shaved her head in some ceremony in India. So I personally have like a dolphin blowhole, like hole at the top of my head. So you won't be seeing me with a shaved head.
Right. Oh my God, that's funny. Like a belly button.
No, it's legit like a giant blowhole. There's a huge dent in the top of my head. Someone told me it was the mark of a shaman. I personally like to think it's a dolphin blowhole.
Do you have any connection with the dolphins?
Oh, I do, absolutely. I'm Lemurian, so of course I'm connected to the dolphins. Yeah. When I was in Florida, actually, the first night that we were on the beach, I was sitting with my family and I could feel them calling me. I could hear them calling me. And I didn't want to be so awkward at first. And, you know, I had just gotten there and I was just like, I'll be right back. And I went down to the beach and they were there. They were waiting for me. And I was just
wow.
I knew it. I could feel you, my brothers. Thank you. Thank you so much for your beautiful song. And then when I went back up, my sister-in-law was just like, you knew they were down there, didn't you? I was just like, I felt them. Yes, I did. And she's just like, next time, tell me. I want to get out on this. I was like, okay.
So she knew. She's one of those that found out who the real you is when you went down there?
Yes, she did. Yeah. And she has her own wooey things. She
does?
Miracles. Yes, but it's, you know, we don't talk about it a lot because you don't want to be perceived as weird, or, you know, it just hasn't been accepted. But just speak your truth, and you just be surprised how many people you align with, because like they have their own, you know, closet abilities and stuff that they don't want to talk about because they don't want to be seen as weird. But just let your freak flag fly, man. It's awesome. Just be fully expressed as who you are. Just to be expressed authentically is just, it's so liberating.
So how did you unfold yourself down there? Were you more public online and they were aware of that, or did you?
Well, they had actually seen my interview with you, and so she actually reached out to me and was just like, hey, you know, I'm interested in what you're doing. Are you going to bring any crystals? Like specifically, you're going to bring that Lemurian that you talked about on that show. And she wanted to get a session with me, but it didn't align. But it was just awesome because we just immediately connected. And she's just, yeah, did I tell you about the time that the Holy Spirit came in my kitchen? And then these other miracles where she said like divine intervention saved her boy's life and stuff like that. I was just like, Absolutely. Right on. It's amazing.
Right on.
Yeah.
And you're talking about, so you went to an event? What type of event was it?
Oh, it was just a little, just outside of Asheville, the woman Quiet Bear, who she and I have this past life connection. She was facilitating a workshop that was etheric cord pulling, which was truly remarkable and very helpful. I've done cord cutting, and I call Michael and I cauterize, and I've actually pulled my own cord one time, but this was different. She takes stones, and you can, and I did it on my friend Josiah, you can move until you feel the resistance, and then when you feel the tightness, feel the cord, you wind it around the etheric cord around the stone, and then you're able to actually like pull it out. And when she did it on this other guy, the gentleman who was there, just parallel the whole time, he was just like, oh my God, oh my God. He was just like, he couldn't believe his eyes, because you could really, like, you could discern it, you could see it.
Yeah.
So it's, there's no judgment, but we do sometimes get cords, and people sometimes get cords and attachments in us. And it's just, it's important to stay sovereign in our own field.
So in that process, when you're pulling the cord, are you enhancing your ability to expand, dimensionally? Or,
well, I think it's allowing us to have any type of impediment to the energy that we're moving out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I mean, if someone's connected into your energy field, then it's just messy. It's just messy energy.
Yeah.
I want to stay sovereign in my field.
Yeah. Morgan was telling me about a massage. I think it's Hawaiian, or maybe there's other ones that do it, where they end it with pulling the hair, like softly pulling the energy out. It sounds like a similar type of exercise.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Plus, I think it probably would give you a sense of yourself too, right? If you're doing it for yourself and actually feeling that. If a guy can see what's happening to the guy next to him, I'm sure the guy next to him, what's happening to, can see it. All right.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if you, I'm not as connected as you are by any means with the animals and that type of thing, but I do very organic connections. So about a week and a half ago, there was like an off-planet nature being that popped in outside, and that being basically, I said, "What are you doing here?" He said, "I'm here for the great gathering." And there was a lot of the stuff that went down with it. But have you sensed any like off-planet nature beings? This new energies.
This new energy, the new Earth.
Yeah, new Earth energy, right? Maybe it was not off-planet. Maybe we were.
You never know.
The Walking Dead. We're the zombies they're talking about. Remember they had that movie, was it Walking Dead, or the series?
I know, because everybody's like this. I think I lost you. No.
Rose or me?
Oh,
was it me? I think it was me.
I don't know. Was it me? Was I still here?
I don't know. We're lighting this thing up, though. I don't know what's happening. Oh, it was me this time. It was you last time. That's what Denise said. Wow. High energy today, though. Were you feeling it this morning?
It has been increasingly rising for me, yes.
Yeah.
And then after this last activation that I had at that workshop that I went to, and then we ended up going up to Mount Mitchell. She came here along with two of my soul brothers. We all have a Lemurian connection. There's a lot of Lemurian energy right now. And we went up to Mount Mitchell, and it was interesting because at the very top, there's a map, and there's north, south, east, west. So we stood on the four corners, and then we all kind of came together, and we just didn't give a fuck if anybody was up there. We were all just speaking light language and toning, and you could hear whispers or whatever, but it's greater work that we're doing. We're anchoring this frequency all around the globe. And the more that we're just able to just hold space for one another, and it's all done in love. It's all done in love and light. And just people are going to think what they want to think anyway. So they've already made their judgment about you. And it's your own life. And so if it's your call, if it's your mission to go up and stand up on a mountain and speak some light language and set up some grids, then do what you feel called. It's important. There's a reason that you feel called to do that. And it's just about stepping out of what is considered, normal behavior.
Or shutting down that voice that tells you that you're crazy.
Exactly.
I think that's my new thing for myself. It's just STFU, shut the fuck up. When that voice comes in, like, what are you doing? Wow, what's happening? That happened to me last night a little bit, not too much, but it's still there. And I'm like, well, okay, I just need to shut up and go with this. Yeah, Morgan turned into a multidimensional goddess last night. There was one here, one there. Her body's over here. And I've been through some of this before. And the funny thing was, I knew it right when it started. Like something touched my shoulder and I looked over and there was 1, 2, 3. And then we went into like this, went into like this kind of a ritual thing. I mean, these things are happening, not just like that, but all over the place. And for me, it's like, just integrate with it, just embrace it, which is kind of a challenge because of the patterns of our behavior.
Right.
But it's getting easier.
It is getting easier. I think the more of us who are, stepping into the light, being fully expressed. I know I've been encouraged by so many, Denise and Ramona and everybody who's, very openly speaking their language and sharing their codes. It makes it easier for us to break through the program of, it's too weird or it's not safe, whatever. We've been programmed to believe. And what the awareness that I had was, so there's a reason they programmed me to not want to do this, because there's great power in it. There's great energy we're able to bring through when we are speaking this frequency. And so I didn't share with it when I was on your show the last time, but I have the remembrance of being repeatedly abducted throughout my childhood and tortured for my light. And so I often, the program that was put in me was to forget the truth of who I am. And then also the program of, we're going to do terrible things to you if you do this stuff. So it's very, I'm grateful for the opportunity that I've had to have that experience. It's beautiful contrast. My work has been to love them anyway, to forgive them. And that is our liberation. We hold these traumas, whether it's this lifetime or past lifetime or ancestral, or even if we're holding these for the collective, you can discern and ask, but it's bringing this up and looking at it and taking a step back emotionally, not being the victim, but giving love to that situation, giving love to who's involved, and taking back the fractalized piece of our spirit, of our soul that was kind of locked down in that trauma. So I'm grateful I experienced those things.
Very good point. That's a very good point. And saying not going into victim. A lot of times we don't think we're going into victim, but we're making someone a victimizer. You know what I mean? So I get what you're saying. Big time. Absolutely. Big time. And I may not have as clear a recollection of, say abductions or whatever you want to call it, but I energetically and experientially, I can relate to that. Well,
so many of us have these connections with the galactics. It's not surprising that we've had these experiences. I didn't even talk about this on your show the last time. And I had a woman that reached out to me and was just like, I'm crying the whole time I'm listening to your interview. I don't know what the connection is. Can we have a conversation? And I talked to her for like an hour, and finally, like after like 45 minutes, I just I was like, well, can I share like what I experienced? And as soon as I said I was repeatedly abducted throughout my childhood and adolescence, she just started wailing, and she's just like, oh my God. She's like, that's it. I had the same experience. And so it's like, oh, okay. So here's the key. Here's how you clear this. Yes, that's terrible. That is horrible. And you can like roll around in that all you want. Or you can be like, I'm a badass motherfucker. I agree to transmute that, because I can transmute that with love. I can love them and I can forgive them for what they did to me. And that allows me to be able to hold more light.
Yeah. Turn a fuck shit into a holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I remember having a episode 2-3 days ago, and I can't remember exactly what it was in the physical, but energetically, there was like this pressure coming at me, or obviously a person or people, and it was happening really fast. It was on a show, actually. It was on a show. So there was the person on the other side. There was a bunch of his aspects or her aspects. I don't want to give it away. Their aspects involved, and it was like trying to come inside of me, man. And I was like, hey, wait a minute. And I'm carrying on a conversation. I'm saying, hey, you know, and I just heard stand in your power, and I just felt my energy field, and I just held my field, and then I looked at that situation, and I just said, you know, we're the same. There's no difference here. I'm not going to see any difference in us, but this is my space, and that's what I'm conscious of, and that's what I'm going to maintain. So it passed. But it's amazing how these things go deeper and deeper, and there's more and more layers. And what may have been a physical experience or situation or event now becomes almost all up here, right? I guess ultimately it always was.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. I don't know why I'm asking you this, but I'm supposed to, I guess. So, angels? Is there something with angels with you?
I believe I'm aura theme.
Okay.
And very connected to the angelic realm. I have a lot of angels around me.
Yeah.
My dear friend is helping me to regrow my wing. So that's what I've got going on right now. I've known since November, I've had the awareness of the event in which they cut off my wing.
Wow.
Yes. So when she began to do the work on me, she was able to see it as well. And so we did a lot of work. Actually, she wrote sigils on my back, and we called in the angels. And I had done work with it prior to that. But again, when you're connected in with these others who maybe hold just a slightly different frequency, it was like that was like the missing key to what I needed to be able to do this. And now that she's done this work, I feel so different. I feel so much more balanced. When I'm in the gym, I can I feel them. Like they're etheric, but I feel them.
Yeah.
And just the more that you work with them, the more that you have the awareness of them, the more that you're able to,
Yeah.
It was really a lot. It was the best workout I ever had. I was just like,
man. Well, it's like, and there's it's like a jigsaw puzzle. Like we're a composite, and there's all these little pieces of all these different essences, galactics, and elementals, and everything else. Because I know you got fairies all around.
For sure.
Yeah. So okay, so before we head out, I mean, you're still doing work online with people, sessions? Yeah. So you let us know, what you're doing, if there's anything new, if you've got any events coming up, or just anything you want to talk about, any messages you want to bring in, or whatever you want to do these last few minutes.
All right. Well, I'll just put it out there. Spirit's calling me to be of greater service. And so I'm offering to do activations, light language activations, and just as a sacred exchange, some sort of donation to the animal sanctuary, because we are growing. And I don't want to limit people from experiencing the ability to connect in with me because they financially can't afford it. We've all been in this place of lack, and we are coming on the other side of that now. And part of that is being in the flow and just allowing that energy to move. And so I am offering myself to be of service, to offer light language activations, even just to connect with people and just for an exchange, a donation to the Blue Heart Animal Sanctuary would be amazing.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah.
And how can they get in touch with you? On Facebook?
Facebook is great. They can private message me. That's probably the easiest way, actually.
Yeah. And do you have a website?
I do. It's blueheartsanctuary.org, which desperately needs to be updated. If anybody feels called, they want to trade sessions for some web assistance, I need to update the website and kind of be more encompassing of what I want to create here. Right now, it just looks like an animal sanctuary, but really feeling called to put my intention and put it out there online of the center that I am intending to create, that I'm guided to facilitate here. So that would be amazing. So blueheartsanctuary.org and divineliberations.com.
Right on. Right on. Well, best to you and your family.
Thank you so much.
And your whole gang over there on the farm.
Yes.
Thanks for it. You take care. It's good seeing you.
Good to see you too. Have a great night. Thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely. You take care. Bye-bye.